Hey everybody, welcome back to the Anyway Whatever podcast. I'm your host, Mike Fisher, and today's special bonus episode is a movie review of Repo Man with my friend Alan Heitz. Like I'd said earlier in the week, these started out as movie reviews, but what they ended up being was me and my friends talking about movies that we love, and they're not much of a review. Obviously, we loved the movie, or else we wouldn't have been talking about it. So yeah, this was recorded right at the beginning of my creation of the podcast. And so I wanted to get a double shot episode out here with Alan. He was super nice to sit down with me and give me his time. He's a very busy guy. Has a family and all that stuff. I wanted to make sure that I got this episode out because Alan was nice enough to give me his time and sit and talk about something that we both love. If you are watching this on YouTube, hit subscribe and click the bell and share, comment, like, all of the stuff that we always ask you to do that YouTube really cares about, and it helps grow this channel quite a bit. Things have been going great so far with the show, and we want to keep building. If you are listening to this podcast, go ahead and subscribe wherever it is you get your podcast content. We're on all the major networks. And so, yeah, that stuff goes a long way. You can find us online at www.anyway-whatever-podcast.com, on Instagram at anyway-whatever-podcast. My personal Instagram is at Maximum Fluoride for my art and design. And on Twitter, you can find us at AWP_podcast. Okay, so here you go. Me and Alan Heitz talking about a great movie, Repo Man. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Anyway Whatever podcast. I'm your host, Mike Fisher, and today we're doing movie review. We got Alan Heitz back with us today to review the movie Repo Man. I asked for a movie, and this is the one he gave me, which is fantastic because this is a movie that I absolutely love and have loved since it came out in the 80s.
Directed by Alex Cox.
Yes.
I also did Sid and Nancy.
Yes. Also another great movie from my youth. And I remember, first of all, one of the things I realized when I was doing the research for this and getting all my notes together was that they made a sequel called like Repo Chick. Yeah. Alex Cox made it. And I was like, why the fuck would you do that? That didn't make any sense.
Cash in. That's the only thing I could think of.
Right. So he did Sid and Nancy, and he did another couple things that I recall seeing, but I didn't, fucking write down because I'm a dipshit. Repo Man is a distinct place in my life for two reasons, and I'm not sure if you knew this and recommended it for the reason is that I was a Repo Man.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There you go. See, I thought you knew that, and you were having me watch it for that reason.
No, Repo Man's just been a staple film in my life that I just loved. It was so off the wall and offbeat that it was just perfect. And Emilio Estevez in that is just so great. Just the I don't care.
Yeah,
somebody
totally.
Was it a scene where he just dumps beer on the ground, and then the guy walks in. He's like, somebody pissed on the floor again.
Right.
Yeah, that's what makes it so much funnier.
Yeah. So this movie was directed by Alex Cox. It was produced by Michael Nesmith of the Monkees. A lot of people don't realize. It stars Harry Dean Stanton, Emilio Estevez, Tracy Walter, Olivia Barash, Del Zamora, Xander Schloss, Jennifer Bulgobin, Dick Rude, and Miguel Sandoval. Half of those people ended up like becoming fairly substantial, people in the industry, which is weird because Dick Rude, who plays Duke, he went on to direct and all kinds of shit. He did all kinds of stuff after. Directed a bunch of Red Hot Chili Peppers videos.
Yep. My improv teacher was in the film as well.
Who's that?
Cynthia Seghetti. She was one of my mentors. When I found out she was in Repo Man, I was just like, "Oh my God, it's destiny! I'm supposed to do this."
Right. Who was she in? What character was she in the film?
She ran the UFO museum.
The lady with the metal hand?
No, the scene where Emilio Estevez.
Oh, right.
They were making out, and he was trying to.
Yeah,
And then she comes in like,
right.
Layla, we have to like do a meeting now.
Right. One of the funny things about this movie, as it pertains to my life, is that when it was out and on cable in like 1985 or whatever, I was like a shithead punk rocker, pretty much just like the character Otto that Emilio Estevez was playing. And my dad was a Repo Man, and at the time he had like kind of risen to the behind the desk suit and tie collections guy, and he had kind of gotten out of the repo truck. And we were sitting there, and we could barely even be in the same room with each other most of the time. And I was like, I will never ever be a fucking Repo Man ever. That is fucking bullshit. Just like Emilio Estevez, when he pours the fucking beer on the ground, he's all, "You guys are a bunch of Repo Men," and like is total fuck the man. And within 6 years, I was working as a Repo Man.
I still have a copy of the film that I recorded from television on VHS, and then for some reason, it was like late at night on like the UHF station, and they didn't censor it at all. Like everything is in there, and it's complete. But it's complete. Like I recorded everything complete with the commercials and all that stuff in it.
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
And you still have that?
Yep.
Still plays?
I still have a VCR. So
I have a few VHS tapes left, but I haven't had a VCR in a long time. But for some reason, there's still some VHS tapes that I just keep around for whatever reason. Like I think I have a copy of Crush Groove still. Yeah, the Beastie Boys in it. I wasn't gonna Run DMC and LL Cool J. I wasn't gonna I'm not letting that go.
No, I have Live Aid, like recorded it right from Live Aid. Like
wow.
Still have it with commercials and everything. That's
amazing. So the thing about that, watching Repo Man for the first time in a while for me, it was one of the things that was awesome was that there were so many cameos by bands that were in the soundtrack, like Circle Jerks are like the lounge band at the restaurant, but even like more than that, like the character Kevin is played by Xander Schloss, who is the bass player for the Circle Jerks, and it was like
Keith Clark does my taxes, who was in the Circle Jerks.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, there's like a couple guys from the old Black Flag Circle Jerks guys who like just got regular jobs, like just went on with their lives. I think the thing that I appreciated watching it was how like heavy on the like art vibe that it had. Like it's an art movie, it really is an art movie, and it made me love it all the more. Like I could relate to it as a kid because I was like a punk rock kid, and it had all the music that I liked in it, and it had a character that I could kind of relate to. But I don't think I appreciated how cool the art style was. And just
everything was generic. Everything was listed as generic.
The generics were amazing.
Yeah.
And then like
the attention to that detail was great.
Yeah.
Every car had a tree in it.
Yeah.
When I was in every car you see.
when I was a Repo Man, that was one of our running jokes on the lot was, find one in every car. Every single time we got a car that we repoed a car that had one in there, it was always like, find one in every car. What was the other one? There was another one from that we. Are you a commie? No commies and no Christians.
No Christians either.
Yeah. You know, like, and then with my friends in the punk rock scene, it was always, you know, let's go do some crimes. Yeah, let's get sushi and not pay. Totally amazing movie that kind of like encapsulated two major aspects of my life. So that was a good call. It was a good call on Repo Man. I appreciated you giving me that one to watch. It was super, super awesome. It also has a distinction of totally random, weird thing that most people don't, that surprises most people is I'm not a super huge fan of Iggy Pop and the Stooges. Just not really my thing. But the Repo Man theme song by Iggy Pop is my favorite Iggy Pop song. I absolutely love that song. It's fantastic.
And the person who played guitar on that song is Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols.
This is true. Your former boss when you worked at Jonesy's Jukebox.
That's right.
At KLOS. That's totally... we went all the way around. The old dipsy doodle. Okay, so for me, I'm going to give this movie like 16 out of 18 stars it gets for me. It's not a perfect movie, but it encapsulates so much of what I loved about growing up and, you know, having been in that job. That job, I would say that the realism to the repo industry was scant at best, but yeah, it definitely captured the feeling, the danger of the job for the most part. So I'll give it some points for realism, and I'll give it some points for some realism for the punk rock stuff too.
For the UFO stuff. What's the realism for that too?
The flying 64, 65 Malibu.
Yeah, with the aliens in the trunk.
Yeah, that was another thing that was totally awesome when it's at the end when it's like glowing in the dark, you can see that they painted the entire inside and outside of that car with fluorescent paint to help get the effect. And I was like, whatever art department guy got that job was probably unhappy with his job for those days. Painting the inside of a 65 four-door Malibu could not have been any kind of fun.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that.
That was what they did, though. Oh, and the Rodriguez brothers.
Yes.
So great.
Yeah, it's funny because Del Zamora, who is one of the Rodriguez brothers, the one with the hairnet, I can't remember his name in the film. He is also in RoboCop, which is another movie that I'm going to be reviewing that I watched the very next night. I'm always a Del Zamora fucking movie marathon over here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Alan, thank you for coming by and recording this movie interview with me. And I appreciate you giving me the movie to watch. It was super awesome, and it brought me back, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great. It's still a great film. It's always a great film.
Okay, guys, that's all we got for you, and I will see you guys next time.